Pasamos entonces ahora a la presentación de Giorgio Sirilli, la política de ciencia y en tecnología en Italia y el rol de la evaluación.
Thank you so much for your invitation, and I would like to see my presentation on the screen. Yes, here it is. So the title is the Science and Technology Policy in Italy, the Role of Evaluation. You see that my affiliation is with the National Research Council, but also I have a second affiliation that is RORS, something that will be presented to you, and which is a new thing that is a website which is playing, I think, an important role in science and technology policy in Italy. Before starting my presentation, I would like to make some comments, just commenting what has happened up to now. So, first of all, you will see my presentation is problematic, but certainly evaluation should be done. Fred underscored, you know that Fred and me work in parallel all the time, so it is difficult to disagree with Fred. Evaluation creates problems, and it is even dangerous, as he said. I'm mentioning Fred. And the framework that you will see, the set of problems that we do have right now in Italy, is a decrease in R&D, while we are envious of you because your issue is exactly the opposite, but some problems may be the same. Overall, evaluation is a mix of elements. One is the rational one, indicators, data, everything, the rational one. But it should be come with a creative, an artistic, and handicrafts kind of thing, because it is really, as it has already said, policy embedded. I would add that it is also culturally embedded. So what works in a certain culture, social environment does not work in another context. And at the extreme, when you have to decide about investing public money, you have to do an act of faith. Evaluation can help you up to a certain point. Then it is a political process that may be based on an act of faith. My presentation, as we are Latin people, will be rather provocative. So please know, I would like to underscore this, that is a provocative Latin-style presentation. So I can start with the screen and how to advance. Yes, the outline is very simple. I will talk about science and technology in Italy and beyond, mostly about Europe. The most relevant evaluation exercise in Italy, in particular in Europe, what lessons that we have learned, the use of evaluation in policy making, and I will conclude with some concluding remarks. I will start very quickly telling, you know, Italy, we are about 60 million inhabitants. We are in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, and Italy is a founding member of the European Union. European Union is very important for us, for every aspect of social, political life, and also in terms of science and technology policy. Just a few figures that I think are important to know. Right now, our R&D expenditure is about 20 billion euro, which amounts to nothing. Yes, we are about 100,000 researchers measured according to the Frascati manual in full-time equivalent, and our R&D GDP ratio is 1.25%. It is a problem, at least for us, because this percentage has been constant over time, for a long, long time. And Fred mentioned the Lisbon strategy. Our aim was in Europe to reach the 3%, and I think we can discuss a little bit about this issue of how to increase the R&D GDP expenditure, which are the conditions that you have to take into consideration. I did some work in the past about the Italian system, how and to what, under which conditions we could really achieve that. In fact, we did not. We have about 90 universities in the country, mostly public universities, and 40 public research agencies, including mine, which is the largest one. But the advancement is a little slow. Okay. Yes, these are the data. I will simply underscore this, that in Italy we have 54.5% of R&D carried out by the business enterprise. And if we stick to the European target that was 2/3 of R&D should be carried out by industry, we are still below that level. Mostly because Italy has very few large companies that usually do a lot of research. Can you go? Well, yes, that was the target.
Point there.
No. Yes. Okay. And this is a number of researchers, about 106,000 people, and most of them are concentrated in university and in government. So the situation in terms of people is different. Can we move forward, please? So science technology policy, which are the main actors? In the past, we had a junior minister without portfolio, while in 1989, a proper Minister of Universities and Research was formed, and also the Minister of Industry, that we now call Economic Development. We have also a junior minister for innovation in public administration. And then we have the very important actor, which is the Ministry of Economy, Finance. People who had to decide how to finance that. The actors in the evaluation system. The Ministry of University and Research in the past had two committees. One was for the research evaluation and the National Committee for Evaluation of the University System. And now we have the National Agency for the Evaluation of Universities and Research. I will elaborate quite a lot about this agency because it has become a key player in the evaluation, but in science policy. Then also universities, a research council, other agencies, everybody is doing some evaluation. I'm talking about evaluating in the area of the public sector, not about firms, not about supporting R&D in firms. Can we move forward, please? Can we? Yes. This is the new player that I am associated with, which is a blog which we started in 2011. We are 14 members of the editorial board, mostly people in academia. We have also 217 collaborators. And the funny thing is that we had up to now, after a couple of years, 8 million contacts, which is huge, which is really huge. At the beginning, we had 8,000 contacts, but now we have 1,300 a day. That means that about a fourth of all university people every day get into this system. We have published more than 1,600 articles, and the readers comment on this. 25 comments. That means that we are not just selling messages. We receive feedback, and this Roars is ranked 8th among the top cultural national blogs. And so this is an activity that freely, without any interest at all, but on top of understanding and diffusing culture is being done, and which is recognized. I will tell you later something about that. So this is the new, yes, can we move forward? We see the Iron Lady. Can we move forward? Yes, the Iron Lady there, because what I would say is that we had a neoconservative wave in the 1980s, starting with the US and coming to Europe through Margaret Thatcher. Can we move forward, please? And by that time, what was the fashionable thing was new public management. So that meant value for money, accountability, relevance. For instance, in Italy, in Italian, we don't have the concept and also a wording for saying value for money or accountability. I don't know whether in this country you have exactly the same thing. So we had to invent something because in our culture, this idea of real value for money or accountability was not widespread like that. So that is an important step forward. Can we move forward, please? The Iron Lady said, all areas of public expenditure should demonstrate value for money. And so she said, we have 3 E's, economy, efficiency, and effectiveness, for every kind of public initiative, including university, research, and whatever. Move forward, please. And then in the UK, they started what is called the research assessment exercise. I assume that everybody is knowledgeable about that. And now the 6th exercise, because up to now 5 exercises have been carried out, now we have the excellent framework, which is a sort of excellent RAA plus a measurement of the impact, because the first one was mostly on efficiency. And Ben Martin, that you may know, who was the director of SPRU, in a recent article said that the research excellence framework will, over time, doubtless become more sophisticated and burdensome. In short, we are creating a Frankenstein monster. So this is the drawbacks of evaluation. What we had in Italy, can we start? Berlusconi said, why should we pay researchers if we make the best shoes in the world? And his finance minister, Tremonti, made a statement. And the statement was, culture does not provide food. Con la cultura non si mangia. And so these are important statements just that tell you what is the general environment, what is the ideology behind decisions in this respect. Yes, this is Letizia Moratti, that was the Italian Minister of Education and Research by the time Berlusconi governed, basically for 2 decades. So when she was minister, there was a sort of explicit and even certainly implicit kind of message given to the scientific community. She said, first, now you have to show how efficient you are, that you are not spending in an appropriate way our money, and then I will give you the money. So the relationship was reversed. Can we move forward, please? So science technology in Italy then is, wait a minute, yes. Then we actually, with delay in time, we adopted the neoliberal approach after Reagan and Thatcher. And the legitimation of R&D and higher education is a point that I think everybody has to know, because politicians have to decide about how to channel resources to the extent to which they are legitimated to do that. So the citizens are or not interested in culture and research, etc. Research and development in my country, even though Italy is a cultural country, etc., is not on top of priorities. I would like to open a parenthesis in this respect, because I would like to tell you something about a rather new book that Mariana Mazzucato wrote, that is The Entrepreneurial State, which says something important, saying that apart from all these ideological ideas, the government has a visible hand. So she showed that, for instance, in particular case of Apple, etc., all innovations that are, the basic innovations that are there, were developed on the basis of the money that was granted by the public sector, because the risk was taken by governments, not by companies. So that means that the legitimation comes also from this kind of discourses which are not that widespread. Shall we move forward, please? Okay, and move forward, please. And the question is now, the autonomy of universities and public research agencies. Our system up to, say, 20 years ago was a very centralized system. So universities were governed in Rome. So they had very little autonomy. Then we discovered that this was not the appropriate way to manage, and a new paradigm was adopted. The government says, you have your autonomy, you have your objectives, your finance, but also we want to evaluate what you are doing. And so we had a use and sometimes a misuse of autonomy from the part of research infrastructure. And also this had an impact on the scientific community. Positive and negative, we will see, of course, they come together. Okay? But now the idea of being evaluated has been accepted. At the beginning, it was not that accepted. You know, there was some resistance. But how to do that, it's a big problem. Shall we move forward? So we have a reduction of resources, and the role of R&D evaluation as a science and technology policy instrument. So in other words, science and technology policy making in this juncture in Italy is mostly based on evaluation. Other issues that are typical of policy making are important, but not that important, at least in any case. So we say, okay, the question is, are we good or not? Our system is good or not? Because if it is bad, of course you need to intervene a lot, but if it is good, it's a different thing. Shall we go forward? So the Italian scientific system is effective. Yes, the answer is yes. I will show you this data. Maybe you can skip, you can go very quickly. You know, this is the number of publications per unit of R&D expenditure. Italy is the red one, and you see we are on the left-hand side between the most efficient in terms of publications. Next one is the annual growth of publications. Also, the increase is very high. And also the number of citations, not only you produce, but the scientific community cite our work. So that is evidence that the system overall is not that bad, because compared to other countries. Now, and also the citations per unit of R&D expenditure. The reduction of public resources of R&D. Data on government budget appropriations that the indicator that Fred mentioned there showed that between 1999 and 12, after the crisis, there was a 12.7% decrease in real terms. And also research funds granted to universities also declined. The numbers are there. And okay. The difficult situation of the National Research Council, this is close to my heart because I work for the National Research Council, is that between 2005 and 2014, there has been a decrease in real terms of 5.3%. That is the overall thing. But the other important element that we need to take into account in this juncture where resources are being reduced is that the financed the block grant, which is managed autonomously by CNR, has decreased, while the amount of money which is given by the ministry to CNR has rocketed in terms of projects. So they give the money not saying you decide what you want to do, but what I want you to do. No, back. Next. Yes. And this is an example. This year, our budget is 1 billion, okay? Overall, 1 billion. So the block grant this year is 500, just half. But the point is that our obligatory expenses, which is salaries and fixed costs, is 620. So, in fact, we are losing autonomy because we are not able to open the doors in the morning until we ask somebody to give us some money, which is conditioned. So it is good or bad. It is a way also of implementing a policy. But if you want to have an autonomous, independent agency, this is not the case anymore. About evaluation. This is the agencies for the evaluation of universities and research. And this evaluation was established in 2011. And this is a government agency, not an authority. This is important to underscore because the debate in Parliament by that time was to have a really independent agency, while it is a government agency. So it is influenced much more by the government. And this relationship between the agency and MIR is difficult. Or in any case, it's an internal kind of... And this agency has done a lot of things, mainly three things. The evaluation of the quality of research, the national scientific qualification, that is the habilitation of professors to be upgraded or to be hired, and the accreditation of universities because right now we don't have, as other countries do, the accreditation system of universities. Let's start with, the evaluation of the quality of research. The model that was used, adapting the British system to the Italian one for cultural and political reasons, was the research assessment exercise. And the objective was of evaluating scientific areas and scientific research structures and departments, not individuals, not researchers. Through researchers, but not. The reference period was 2004 to 2010. It was started in 2011. It has been completed a few months ago. The actors have been, this was a tremendous effort. This agency and 450 experts involved in each individual areas, and all referees that had to referee all the products. And so research structures, so universities and research agencies had to submit all this amount of information. Then departments and subjects evaluated were researchers, so university teachers and researchers like myself. So we had to produce all this relevant information. Researchers' products to be evaluated. Shall we go? Journal articles, yes, books, chapters, patents, any kind of thing. And the final one I would like to underscore is that university teachers had to produce 3 products over a 7-year period, while we in public research agencies had to provide 6. That was something debated. But in any case, the point is that the scores were not positive, but also negative. So if you did not submit a paper, or whatever, you subtracted 1 as an excellent thing. That created, at least for CNR, where people do many things at the same time, or even they concentrate on a period of time, not in research, but others, it was terrible. So the outcome was a mobilization of the scientific community. This process was heavily criticized. That was a measure of effectiveness, not of impact at all. It was considered the first exercise to be improved, and used to assign resources by the ministry, because by law, this evaluation should be used for granting additional money to universities and research agencies. The national scientific qualification is not a problem that I would simply, shall we go? Here you have a lot of problems with biometrics, peer review, how to mix them, social sciences and humanities towards social sciences and national sciences and engineering, and also the journal, mediums. At the end, each individual had either a red or a green light. You are approved, it's a green or red. Shall we go? Yeah. And was it worth? So we had 69,000 applications, 46 people who were habilitated. But the point is that many people put forward the legal actions because they were not happy. So our judges, administrative judges are very busy right now. And the cost per habilitation, 5,000 euro per habilitated person. But given the fact that now universities are not hiring that much, they have a limit, each one that will be hired on this basis will be cost 25,000 euro. And then, okay, let's move forward. So I think the accreditation of universities, can you go? It's going on. There is a lot of opposition about that. It's on the way, and strong opposition from universities. So the role of AMFOR, now this is a question mark. Is this agency too powerful? Is it too bureaucratic? Is this agency playing a political game or not? And here, the relationship between AMFOR and RORS. I will underscore once again that this is photos that I will show you in a moment, namely that this relationship is frank but sometimes tough, because we criticize on the basis of scientific and analysis, etc. But I think it is important to say that they accept this criticism, so there is a real dialogue. Here you can see our meeting that we had recently. You see in the center Mariano Gago, who was the Portuguese Minister for Science and Technology, etc., and the President of Hamburg, that was amongst ourselves. The colonel doesn't mean anything. He's there. Okay, shall we? Evaluation is expensive. So we calculated that in order to do this evaluation of quality of research, the cost was 300 million euro, which is an amount. And the research assessments exercise, in a similar way, was evaluated as costing 126 million euro. There is a rule of thumb whereby evaluation should cost 100% or less of the overall money to be allotted. Okay. The knowledge bundle. The question is that nowadays, according to our approaches, we have this learned society which is made of university, where you have teaching, research, and third mission. By the way, a colleague of ours calculated that in order just to measure the third mission, you need 60 indicators. You can understand how complex and costly, etc. Research agencies are doing research, they do problem solving, and they manage things. Nowadays, the emphasis is everywhere on research. And this is, I think, too bad, because the bundle is disequilibrated completely. So, the other side of the coin of evaluation. The Frankenstein monster that I mentioned to you. Also, after this exercise, we had league tables. At the beginning, nobody wanted to have league tables. But once you have the data, journalists, everybody says, this university is best, etc. That created a lot of problems. Also, between scientists, the mechanism was that competition was enhanced and cooperation was reduced because for some technical reasons. Of course, scientists are not stupid people, they're intelligent people, so they act in an opportunistic way. You want this to be done, I will produce what you want, but not exactly what exactly needs to be done for the country, etc. And also the split of the academic community, because once you become poor, when you have the pressure, the scientific community is broken down. And the good guys, that I'm the good guy, my colleague there is the bad guy, so we should punish somehow the bad guy. So there is this threat of equilibrium amongst components of this bundle. So this is a big problem that we see. Can we move? Okay, let's move forward, etc. We can skip this. Yes, and so. What we have this performance-based research funding systems. Okay, so I would simply quote what Diana Hicks wrote in recent articles on this. When you do this performance-based research funding systems, so this is then the distribution of university research funding is something of an illusion. So the distribution is carried out by political administrative agencies in a complex way, but not necessarily 100% based on that. It is the competition for prestige that creates powerful incentives within university systems. Performance-based research funding systems aim at excellence. They may compromise other important values such as equity and diversity, because you kill those who are not in the mainstream, those who risk more, because you just want to be evaluated on the basis of what has been said that it is the parameter. So equity and diversity, which are fundamental element of these public institutions, is gone. And then there is also the control of professional elites. Those who are sitting committees become more powerful. So I will go straight to the conclusions. If you move forward, please. Yeah, okay, fine. Yes, fine. This, that, yeah. Yes, concluding remarks. First one, then just to sum up what I have said, the Italian system is under pressure. Yeah? The legitimation of S&T and higher education is a question important, which is addressed by at individual levels. Of course, anybody is in the position of contributing to this legitimation. Okay? Evaluation is a key policy instrument. Next. Evaluation was introduced lately in Italy, but is expected to stay. Now, there's no question how to do that and improve. Evaluation was used in an ideological way. There was a clear ideological neoconservative way, just sort of punishing the scientific community. Also because we have scandals in universities, in newspapers, often you see a scandal in the University of Rome, and University there, the rector hiring his wife or whatever. But the quality often is not illustrated as it should be. Evaluation exercises are heavily criticized from a methodological point of view. And the methodology is something that pertains to all countries. It is international, but it's also nationally embedded. It depends also on the culture of the scientific community in the country. The impact of scientific community on researchers' behavior, it is, of course, when you want to measure something, okay, I will do what you want, so I will forget. Most people are complaining about the fact that the university professors are not spending enough time with their students, because priority is research. The time should be used for producing papers, for salami slicing, all these kind of things, and then the bundle is unbalanced. Too much evaluation is, or may be, harmful. There may be a misuse of research evaluation, and evaluation is expensive. This is an element that policymakers have not taken into consideration enough. Also, when we calculate this 300 million euro for the evaluation of quality of research, there was an opposition, and we had a debate on this Aurora's website, because no, how you calculate this and that. That is not the case, it's ever. And there is a concentration of excellent institutions or spending. This is, I think, also a question, we will conclude here, a question also for Mexico. I think it should be clear from a political and also ideological point of view whether you want just to put all your resources in a basket, the best one, the excellent, and you leave the others out, or if you believe that everybody has to survive, everybody has to give its own contribution to society, even though not excellent, but a fortiori, if somebody is not excellent, it should be, or she should be helped to improve. You can imagine that you want to close down a university in a peripheral area. What the mayor or the government there will say. So this is an open question which is not, I think, appropriately addressed up to now. And the final, the paradox. The scientific Italian system, beyond of these problems, beyond what we see, it's a good system. So thank you for your attention.